How is abortion a health care procedure?
So when a woman has a pregnancy that affects her health, or that she decides to end, if she doesn't have an opportunity to end it safely, anything that risks or ends that poses a risk to your health is a healthcare issue.
But it's not a healthcare issue for the unborn child in that you're killing the baby. So I don't know how that is a healthcare issue for the child.
Well, so one of the things that when people describe abortion that way, the way I look at of calling abortion murder, or they call a developing pregnancy a baby, what they're telling me is that they have a certain understanding about what a baby is, or about what they think healthcare is. If we're going to be precise in our language, baby is a cultural term, it's not a scientific or medical term. And you're not a baby before you're born. You're entitled to say that you don't believe that women should have abortion. But because of our laws, you're not entitled to block a woman from having an abortion, or you're not entitled to force a woman to agree with your definition.
Aren't you taking a life inside the womb? Aren't you taking a life?
Actually, a pregnancy, when you do an abortion, yes, a pregnancy does end a life. But does it end a person?
So you are killing an unborn child if you're taking a life. You're not taking the life of an animal. You're not taking the life of the woman, so you're taking the life of a child. Is that right?
I disagree with you. I understand what you're saying.
You are killing an unborn child, right?
I'm not killing an unborn child.
You're taking the life of an unborn child.
I'm ending a pregnancy.
But does that require you to take the life of the child that's in the woman's womb?
I don't define a pregnancy as a child, and
does it have a life? Is it a living?
It is a living entity. It is a life. It is a human being, because women don't have puppies. But it is not a baby. And if it were a baby, it would be a person, correct?
So let
me finish.
So the reality is you are taking a life.
So
is that true or not?
Do you want to have a dialogue, or do you want to let me answer your question, or do you want to answer my question?
Answer the question about are you taking a life?
Okay. Yes, an abortion ends a life. Now, what I asked you was, you're saying a pregnancy is a baby, right?
It's an unborn child.
It's an unborn child. Okay.
Yes.
So if I kill a child, that's murder, right?
You mean the one that's
If I kill a child,
yes.
You say, okay. So if I'm killing a child, if I'm doing an abortion in an abortion clinic, if you call the police, will they come and arrest me?
They won't, because of the law.
Why?
But that still
What does the law say?
That still doesn't take away the fact that you're taking a life. And we both agree that you are taking a life.
Correct.
Do you believe that human beings are in a fallen state?
No.
You do not, and why not?
Because I think that it requires a biblical literalism, and it requires an understanding that says that everybody is immoral and that they have to be redeemed in some way. I have a different understanding and a different significance of what the life of Jesus Christ meant.
You grew up in the South, you were a Christian,
Absolutely.
and you believed at one point that we were in a fallen state due to sin, and we needed to repent and overcome that.
Yes.
What changed your mind about that?
What changed my mind is I understand that the Bible is a sacred text, and that I don't approach the Bible literally as the Word of God. There have been too many translations. Do you speak Aramaic?
No.
Do you speak Hebrew?
I don't.
Or do you speak Greek?
I don't.
Those were the original texts of the Bible, right?
Right.
The Bible's been translated into English, right?
Right.
You can have different versions, even in English, there are different translations. That doesn't mean that the Bible's not significant as sacred text, but it means, do you have to approach the Bible as being literally true? I don't.
So you grew up in Alabama. You believed at one time that we were sinners who need to repent.
Absolutely.
What in the Bible did you read that said to you, no, that's not true? Okay. Did you read something in the Bible that changed your mind? I'm not getting what was it. How did you make up your mind? Can you cite me one thing that said you're not a sinner or you're not in a fallen state? Was there something specific in the Bible that told you that?
No.
So you just made up your own mind about that?
Well, in accordance to Romans 12, you're absolutely right. I did make up my own mind, where Paul said that every person needs to be persuaded in their own mind.
Is it possible you could be wrong now?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Is it possible that you could be wrong?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So that's where we differ. You can't imagine how you can possibly be wrong, and I question myself all the time. Voltaire said
I would if I were you. What made you think that you are a Christian?
Okay. Why do you question that?
No. You said you are, but what made you think that you are?
Why do you question that?
No, answer that for me. What made you think that you are a Christian?
Well, Why do you think that you're a Christian?
Can you answer that for me?
You answer
I'm doing
first.
the interview here. You're my guest.
And I'm responding.
And
right?
you're the expert here, so I'm here to ask.
What
made you think that...
I'm not the expert on your spirituality, nor are you the expert on mine.
So what made you think that you are a Christian?
To the satisfaction of me being persuaded in my own mind and in the way that we all have to know our spirituality for ourselves, I am certain that I am clear with my relationship with my Creator and God, and that I stand before my God with the acceptance of my God, and that I don't have to open it to your scrutiny or anybody else's.
But that's not an answer. What is it about you?
It's not the answer that you want.
What is it about you that made you think today that you are a Christian? What is it
about you that allows you to question that?
What is it about you?
What authority do you hold to question that?
Well, I'm interviewing you. I'm trying to get some information.
That doesn't give you authority, and I'm giving you the information that you don't have the right to question that. If you ask me if I'm a Christian and I say yes, how are you going to verify that I am or not?
So there's nothing about you that can convince you that you are a Christian.
Well, there's nothing about me that can convince you that I'm a Christian. You can't look into my heart and tell me what's there.
That's
you
why
can't
I'm
tell me
asking you
not.
about your heart.
Well, I don't go around telling people what's in my heart because I can't say that to your satisfaction. So I'm never going to question yours. It could be questionable about what makes you think that you're empowered to question the spiritual state of somebody else. Don't you think that's kind of arrogant?
No,
I'm
trying to get a better understanding of why you do the things you do.
Okay. I do the things I do because I believe that my conscience dictates what I should do, and I'm doing what I believe to be right. It doesn't have to meet your approval. Ask me some questions that are really about the issue that you want to talk about. And from what I understand, this isn't about, you didn't invite me. I'm here I came here at your invitation without knowing anything about who you are and what your agenda is. And I didn't come here to have you openly scrutinize what you think my moral compass is. If you want to talk about abortion, if you want to talk about the right of women, if you don't want to talk about that, we can end the interview, and I'm happy to have had this opportunity.
Let me just ask this and then we'll move on. Do you believe that there's good and evil?
I absolutely do.
You do, okay. And is it good to perform abortions or evil?
It's good to perform abortions when women seek them and they need them and they ask me to do it and I'm trained to do it and I provide it for them. Yes, it is good to provide
for the unborn child?
I don't know what an unborn child is. I know what a fetus is. I know when you give birth, you become a child. I know how to end a person.
Is it good or evil for the fetus?
I don't relate to life in terms of absolute good and evil, so I won't answer that to your satisfaction.
Does it bother you that it might be evil to the fetus?
It doesn't bother me at all because a fetus can't be more important than the woman carrying it.
How many abortions have you performed in your career?
As many as necessary.
And how many is that?
As many as necessary. I don't keep count. Every woman who comes to me and asks me for that care, when she demonstrates that she is clear about her decision, I provide her with the care she seeks. I don't keep numbers. Because what difference does it make if it's 1,000 or 100,000?
Well, you don't think that would make a difference?
Okay.
So I want to know, once you pull this baby out of the womb,
I don't pull babies out of the womb.
After you kill the baby inside the womb,
I don't kill babies.
And you suck it out, however you get it out.
I remove pregnancies by standard medical techniques.
And when you
at 12 weeks, that is a suction procedure.
And when you
now,
see
do you want
that
to talk
child,
about
when you
the
see
procedure,
that,
or do you want to talk about the rhetoric that you want to engage in?
Let me ask, when you see that child, does it bother you at all?
It doesn't bother me at all to end a pregnancy that a woman doesn't want, because the woman who comes to me is my patient.
The woman that's having her child killed in her womb, does she give that child life?
Nobody gives anybody life. Life is a process. We all participate in the process of reproduction.
So she doesn't give life. What gives her the right to take her life?
Okay, nobody gave her life. She can't give life. We all are here.
So what gives her the right to take her life?
Well, you know, what gives her the right to end a process that's going on in her body is that she is a human being with the ability to make decisions about herself, right?
So is
there any process, if you wanted to have your gallbladder taken out, would anybody question you? Do you have to get anybody's permission to have anything done in your body?
A gallbladder and a baby is not the same.
Well, a gallbladder is in your body and a fetus is in her body.
I'm making the choice about the gallbladder, or the gallbladder has some problems in making the choice.
And women do the same thing about pregnancies.
A woman who kills her children on the inside is making a decision about another human being's life.
I'm not gonna argue with you. If you want to have I've never walked out of an interview, but if you want to have a meaningful conversation, ask me some meaningful questions.
Okay,
otherwise, this interview is over.
I'm about to now.
Okay.
But I thought the whole conversation had been meaningful so far.
No, because I haven't really. You haven't asked. You have asked me questions that prompted me to answer in a certain way, and then you've offered your critique. Everything has been about what your impression of about who I am and what I do.
You asked me.
Right, I ask you because I'm still trying to figure out what the point of this. Okay, I don't complain because I have the power of exit. I can walk out here any moment that I want.
Let me ask.
I'm indulging you.
So does it bother you that every day, according to Black Genocide, that every day between 1,200 to 1,500 Black babies are aborted? Every day.
It doesn't, because I don't abort babies. No, it doesn't, because abortions come from unplanned, unwanted pregnancies or lethally flawed ones. And unplanned pregnancies, African American women followed by Latina women have the highest rate of unplanned pregnancy. So it stands to reason that when a woman has an unplanned pregnancy and she decides not to keep it, that the people going to have the highest rate of abortion are going to be the people who have the highest rate of unintended pregnancy.
Does it make it right just because it's unplanned that they should kill the child?
Well, it makes it right that a person can make their own decision. So they are taking responsibility. They're not continuing pregnancies that they don't want.
So as a Black American, seeing the devastating state of most Black people in the country today, you're literally not bothered that every day between 1,200 to 1,300, 1,400 Black babies are aborted. You're not bothered. I'm
not bothered by the fact that women are able to act in their own behalf. And I'm also not bothered by the fact that the majority of those women were already challenged around having the resources to raise the babies that they have. So for me to take people already living in misery and to compound that misery by insisting that they're going to have a baby that they can't take care of. Where are you when the baby's ill? Where are you when the mother gets kicked out of her house with all these babies and a newborn? You're justifying abortion right now. No, I'm justifying women being empowered to make the decisions that they know best about their lives. Not you, not me, not other folk who couldn't give a care about what happens to those babies after they're born. So as a doctor, did you make more money before you start performing abortions or after you start to perform abortions? What difference would it make? But since you raised the question, I'm a board-certified obstetrician gynecologist with 27 years experience. And what I make performing abortions is below what I could make if I didn't do abortions. So what's your point? Do you make more money? What's your point? Do you make more money? Did you start making more money before you started to perform abortion? I make more money after. I make more money. I make less money than I could make. I make enough money to take care of myself. But so what difference does it make? Did you start making more money after you started to perform abortion? What difference does it make how much money I make? It's important because that might be your motivation. Do you love the unborn child? I love people. How about the unborn child? Unborn children aren't people. I don't know what an unborn child is. I know what a fetus is. I know what a pregnancy is, but I don't know what. Do you love the fetus? I love women and their pregnancies. If a woman's carrying a fetus and she wants to continue, I love and will support her ability to support that. If a woman's pregnant and is carrying a fetus and she no longer wishes to carry that pregnancy, or if her health prohibits her from doing so, I love her enough to help her accomplish her goals safely. Amazing. And let me ask you a question. How can you say you love a pregnancy more than you love the woman carrying it? I love both. Okay. So when it's not in the best interest of a woman to continue a pregnancy, how can you prioritize the fetus over the woman who's carrying the pregnancy? Because the child should have a chance to live as well. What about a female child who's carrying a child? Does a woman have a right to thrive? She has a right, and so does the unborn child. Okay. And so when those interests are competing, whose interests are important? They're not competing. Are you a doctor? Are you a doctor? Only in the ego mind of the selfish woman that want to kill the child. So you don't have to be a doctor to know that, man. You don't have to be. I came on your show in good faith. I didn't Google you. I don't know anything about you. I thought we were going to have a conversation. We've had a conversation. As far as I'm concerned, it's productive because I walked into a situation where I didn't know that you were going to be hostile, or I thought this was going to be.
I'm not being hostile.
I thought this was going to be.
You don't want to act hostile.
Well, no, I'm being
threatening to leave.
The reason I threatened to leave because I threatened to leave because I don't have to be disrespected, right? And I felt disrespected by you.
Let me ask. You received that Margaret Sanger Award from Planned Parenthood. Is that right?
I did.
Amazing.
What's amazing about that?
Because Planned Parenthood is wicked to the core.
Okay.
They sold the unborn child body parts for profit. Are you okay with that?
It's a shame that you are sitting here.
Are you okay with that?
Repeating falsehoods. I'm not respectfully. I'm not calling you a liar, but you're repeating lies. You're repeating lies. Everything about those videos that were workshopped and created have been debunked. The people who made them are about to go to jail, and somehow you, as a journalist and as a published author, I would give you
been debunked. That's not true. Tell the truth, man.
Well, it's been debunked.
You're not telling the truth. That's why you're looking down at the floor.
Well, I'm looking down because I'm thinking,
because you don't want me to see you're not telling the truth.
Oh, I'm telling the truth. I
that
can look
has
you in the eye.
not been debunked.
Yeah.